They're asking you for two things. Let's let that load here. They're asking for two things here. They're asking for the perimeter, and then they're also asking for what's called the area.
Yeah.
You might have seen this in a previous class. Actually, this looks like a rectangular pen for an animal. So the perimeter, I always think of it as a walk around. It's literally what it takes to go all the way around.
So you would add them up?
You literally add up all the numbers. Okay. Now there is a shortcut, but you can just add up all the
You
numbers.
could
Now,
just do 12 times 2 and 6 times 2.
as long as you add as long as you add them together, yes. Okay. So when you add them all together, you get 36, but that is not the final answer.
Okay.
I'm glad you paused there. So the final answer is 36 meters. Okay, so the units are very important here. Okay, and I sometimes struggle to explain to students why they're important, but for now, let's just go with that. They definitely are important, because your answer without units, we have no idea what you're referring to. Now the area, you've seen this before. It's the base times the height, or maybe you prefer length.
So it'd be like 12 times 12 and 6 times 6?
Nope. So they're so let me highlight the base. Okay. Let me highlight the base or the length. It actually doesn't matter, but this is the base or the length. Okay.
Okay.
The height is the other one, the other dimension, or the width, depending on how you're looking at it. Okay. Now the numbers are not always different, but they certainly are in this problem. It's 12 times 6, which is 72, but you need units. Okay. And your units are meters times meters. And there's a couple of ways to say it and write it. One is meters squared. And I'll write the word here, meters squared. Alternatively, you could say square meters.
Okay.
They're both acceptable.
I don't think we're supposed to find the area of this one.
Okay.
It just says finding the perimeter of the rectangles.
Yeah, so we will on the next page. So just previewing that. But yeah, let me jump to the next two problems here on this page. Once you know how to do one, they're all pretty much the same. So let's have you look at screen is frozen up here a little bit.
Area
so let's do the next two problems on this page.
Okay.
With perimeter. And I apologize. I'm just my screen is just not allowing me to give me more space. Come on. There it is. Okay. All right, so here we go. These are the next two problems that I'm seeing. So yeah, just the perimeter. Like you have your choice. You can either add up the numbers or
38.
2 times. 38 what though? What are the units?
Centimeters?
Centimeters, yeah. Very good. And if you're not sure about what to call it, I'll help in that regard. And the one on the right, let me know when you've got that.
$103 millimeters.
I think it's 102 millimeters. So the 19.
I got it because I did the 19 and then 38. Oh yes, 19.
So that's 38 millimeters, and then if you add it to the 32 millimeters, that makes a nice number. That's 70 millimeters, and then you can add the other 32 millimeters to get 10.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's you definitely have that down. Let's take a look at page 3 and do some area. And they actually give you the formula. I didn't realize that. That's really nice here. Let me snip that in. Okay, so find the area of each square or rectangle using the area formula, length times width. Okay, so they actually don't have to give you all the numbers. You can put them in if you want, but you only need the two numbers for the base and the height in this problem. So you're gonna multiply 11 times 3, and it's good to write out the formula each time, and then it's good to substitute the numbers each time and write your final answer. And then this one, again, there's a couple of ways to say the answer, to write the answer, but it's inches squared for area.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
Nope.
All right, let's have you try the next two and give me your answers to those, and then
Okay.
we'll move on to the next page. Make sure you get a sampling of everything here.
$49 centimeters square.
Yes, you got to say that squared part.
Okay.
Very important. So that's the area. Make sure you write the variable. Also good to write the formula each time until you've got it down.
Okay.
How about the one on the right?
Right.
Let me know when you've got an answer.
Okay. Would it be 42?
6 times 8 is 48.
Oh, 600. Oh, yeah, right. Sorry, yeah. 600 is 48 square feet.
Square feet or feet squared, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm sensing like a little bit of uncertainty about multiplication. We will get a chance to improve on that. Let's go to page 4. And we'll look at the first problem here, the first row of problems. So this time it's finding the perimeter of a triangle. Okay, so triangle means three angles, 3 sides. And the instructions are very clear. It says to determine the perimeter or calculate the perimeter of each triangle by adding up the lengths of its 3 sides. Okay. And like I said, the units are really important. Like all of a sudden, the units matter. You probably haven't even thought about them in this class. Now, you do not have to add it with the units. You can wait until the end, but you don't want to forget the units.
Okay.
Like it's just really important that you don't forget those. So notice for perimeter, it's always just the units, whatever they are, like meters, inches, centimeters, and so on. But for area, it's always units squared.
Okay. So it's just going to be units.
Yes. So this is kind of the key thing to take out, because it doesn't matter whether you find the perimeter of a rectangle or a triangle, whether you're finding the area of a rectangle or a triangle, you have to know what way to write the units. All right. So let's have you try that next row.
Okay.
So here we are. Here's the next row. So go ahead and give me the perimeter of each of these, please, with the correct
Okay.
units.
Okay, 42 feet and 15 centimeters.
Good. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the last page. And the last page has area of a triangle. Okay. Did you cover all these formulas in class today?
Actually, I wasn't there for class,
Okay.
so
So you don't know, maybe,
I
right?
don't know.
All right. So kind of just like the quadrilaterals or the rectangles, it's base times height. The formula is base, which is down here, times the height. Okay, and you,
There.
which
Okay.
is the 4. Yeah, and then there's this half. Okay, so there's always a half. So it's usually better written like this: 1/2 base times height, like this. So for your first problem, it's 1/2 7 times 4. Okay, and order of operations, you're going to multiply first before you divide.
Okay. So 28. All right. 28.
Yes, 28, but half of 28 is
Half 28 is 18. No.
half of half. So when it's an even
Oh,
number, you cut
14,
them both.
sorry. 14.
14. Now the units of area, it's going to be squared. Okay, so it's whatever your units are, but then you square them.
Okay.
All right, meters squared. Okay, so let's do another one. These are probably the ones you've not seen before, so we'll look at more of these in this lesson here. Get this down. So let's look at the next row. You do have to remember the formula. So that 1/2 base times height, you'll want to have that memorized before your next test or quiz. So for the one on the left here, it's 1/2 base times height. And if you need to, you label, you say, oh, the 12 is the base. The base is the thing that it sits on. Maybe I should say that the base is what it sits on. And then this number over here, 10, is the height. Okay. Now they're showing this as a dashed line because the height is literally the distance from the top to the bottom or the base. And sometimes it's not a side.
Huh, okay.
Okay, so it's going to be 1/2 12 times 10.
All right. 120. So
Okay, what is half of 120?
120 is 60.
Yep, 60 what? What are the units?
60 feet.
Anything else?
Square.
Yes.
60 square feet.
Yeah. So if you were to go into like a lumber yard or a place where they sell flooring or something, and you asked for 60 feet of flooring, they would look at you funny. They would say, we sell it in square feet. And, not that you're going to do that anytime soon, but that's why the answer is so important. So we know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay, let's try another one here on the right.
864. Half of 64 is 32. So 32 square inches.
Yes, it's 32 inches squared, or square inches. Good. All right, so let's do one more row of these before moving on to something else potentially. I hope this helps us doing some of each type, and then you can go back if you need to.
Yeah. Also, for the one that we just did, what is
Yes,
that little square for?
that's the indicated square inches.
Oh, okay.
So I can write this instead of writing 32 square inches.
Oh, okay. So that little cube is just indicate that.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It didn't I couldn't tell if it was just a mistake or.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at these two. Go ahead and give them a try. And when you got your answer, let me know. I want your final answer though, with the correct units. Don't leave them out. Make
Okay.
sure you give it to me complete.
Two-yard square.
Is this your final answer? Is that what you said? I didn't,
Yeah.
maybe I didn't catch it. Okay.
Yeah, no, 72.
72. Okay. What is the formula for area
The formula for the area,
of a triangle?
72.
What's the formula?
Multiplication, and then divide that by half.
So
Oh,
1/2 base times height.
so
So I
half
think,
that would be 36.
right. Now, if you're not writing the formula, I strongly recommend that because it helps to focus you on what you're
Okay.
doing. It's like, okay, 1/2
Okay.
12 times 6. There you go. All right, so try the one on the right, please.
$50 meters square.
Yes, very good. Okay, so I think you know enough to do pages 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'd like to go back and start with
Page 1.
page 1, and let's look at number 3 first. Okay, so it's a solve for the variable. So the variable here is k. And you ask yourself, you're like, what is keeping k from being by itself? What is keeping k? The 6. What is the 6 doing? Is it adding, subtracting?
Multiplying K.
So you undo multiplication with division. Okay, so this is your answer. Your answer is 7.2 divided by 6. But you have to actually divide this. Okay, so 6 goes on the outside. 7.2 goes on the inside. So we're working on this the other day. If you need a refresher, we can go through one. This one's not too bad though. It's
Okay. So I don't know, 1.0 something.
so 6 goes into 7 one time.
And then subtract this 1, bring down 2, 12, 6, and on to that 2. So 1.2.
1.2, yeah. So that's the value of k. K is 1.2. So while the previous line was correct, you really want the simplified
Okay.
answer. Okay. All right, so assuming we only have time to do one or two, which one would you like us to do?
Let's do 1.
Okay. Very good. All right, so these are always long. Your teacher isn't saying to check. Do you know if you're supposed to check these?
I don't think she cares right now because right now we're kind of focused on getting through this.
Wow,
And
you
the
know
next
that she
thing.
really cared. She really cared a while back.
Yeah, she had a lot a while back when we had more time, but now we're sort of running out of time. She wants to get to more things.
Yeah.
She doesn't
Okay.
really care. They're not checking.
All right. Well, we've talked about this before. You cannot leave a decimal on the outside, so you have to move it right 2 places, which means you have to move this right 2 places. So your modified problem is 24 on the outside, and then 6,339 on the inside.
$24 can go in 2 times.
Yeah,
16,
that's good that you see that. That's
and
48.
that is 48. Subtract. That is 15. Bring down the 3. 24 can go in
So I try for easy ones, like 24 times 5 is 120.
20.
And I know that's too
24
small,
times
so
6 is 144.
still too small. But notice you don't have to multiply now. You can just add 24 each time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's too much. So you would have to go with 24 times 6.
Good.
Which is 144. Subtract, and then that is 9. Bring down the 9. 24 can go in 4 times.
That's right.
And there's 96.
26.
And that is 3.
So now you got to start a decimal here and a decimal in your answer. Bring down the 0.
And that 30.
So how many
24 going once.
once? Good.
It's 24. Subtract, and that is 6. 0. 60. 24 can go in twice.
Okay.
And
So that's 48. You subtract.
8. Subtract, and that's 12.
And now you got one that works out perfectly. Well, that's nice.
And then 120 can go in 5 times.
Yes.
And that is
All right. So